Sports Mag. Buffaloes get their first Big 12 win.
Looks like we got some people in the pool here.
Could the Buffaloes still get their first Big 12 win against K-State?
And it looks like we got Alyssa Presley for the women's team driving to the hole.
And Jeff Zdelek still looking for his first Big 12 win. All next on Sports Mag.
Right now.
Welcome to CU Sports Mag. I'm Kevin Rash alongside here Andrew Tomasini. And I didn't say Sports Center that time, so no props for that. But we should get things started with some basketball as usual.
Yeah, big games this week. We had 2 in-conference games from CU, so let's take it to the Coors Event Center right now. And here we are, whiteout at the Coors Event Center.
I got my shirt in white.
Oh, Chip fresh in a white tee, mascot of the year. Let's start it off here, picking it up in the first quarter. Dominique Souton with a quick jumper for the Wildcats. Here's Corey Higgins. Driving down the lane a little bit, looking for Austin Dufault. 3. No go. Souton with one of his 5 rebounds on the night. K-State attacking again. That's Darren Kent. Looks like Jacob Pullen here with a quick jumper. 17 points on the night for him. But sophomore Corey Higgins can't get the mid-range jumper to fall. Back in the action again. Here's Higgins with the steal, driving down the lane. He got that. Nothing but net for him. He's all good. Back in the action again, giving him the ball. Here's Higgins. Pull-up jumper, looking to get to the corner, mid-range. He got it. But Dennis Clemente, silky smooth, answers for his 3rd three of the evening from the wing. Too large man, Jameel Jackson-Wilson sets up on the block for a quick 2.
Jameel Jackson-Wilson had it going on all game long. And
who is that?
That guy did as well. Game tied at 26 at halftime. Pullen sets it up to Ron Anderson underneath the basket. 2 there for Kansas State, got the other lead, but Jameel Jackson-Wilson there again for the steal, and watch out! Alex Hessman, CU Sports Mag's own cameraman. Watch out. Austin Fault's a big man. Nate Tomlinson comes in for the layup. Gets the early lead for the halftime lead for the Bucks, and Jameel right there and 1. Buffalo's pumped up, crowd pumped up. Down 3 at the end of regulation. Stage 4, Whitethorn rises and fires. Bang, he's got it. Ties the game at 67. Last chance for K-State and Clemente for the win. No go. And then CU right there, a chance at the end. That was in close. Overtime, 67-67. First overtime game for both winless teams. Great game. We showed up there last Saturday. And then Pullen from the wing for 3. Team high 17 points. And then Whitethorn doing it all night long. 30 points. Player of the game. Whitethorn again from behind the arc. Keeping the Buffs in it. Right here, Lake gets fouled. Zdelek not happy about it because now Buffaloes have to shoot free throws when they're down 3. So Higgins made the first one, missed the second one. CU got the ball back, and Jameel for 3 and the win. In and out. No good. Heartbreak City for the Buffaloes as they lose it 77-75. As you just take a look at the stats right here, Thorne, like I said, player of the game, 30 points, and then Pullen for 17. Zdelek?
He can't be happy about that performance. I mean, it was a close game, but
we'll see. Let's get it to Zdelek right now for his thoughts.
Again, to just understand why we lost. And this is what we've been working on. You just don't play, but you play to win. There's a difference between just playing and playing to win. We can't culminate and finish a possession defensively by giving up offensive rebounds, and then we throw it away a couple times, and they all kind of add up for a team that really doesn't have a lot of margin for error.
Just cracking that win column in Big 12 just does wonders for you. In past years we haven't had much success, but I think with a lot of players on our team having experience in the Big 12, and to get that win, it does a lot for our confidence.
Iowa State in town Tuesday night. Buffalo still looking for that first Big 12 victory. And Craig Brackens, he's unstoppable. 24 points, 42 last weekend against Kansas, the reigning defending champs. And then Alex Thompson in the middle, right here for Iowa State's 8-point lead early on in the first half. But CU would have an answer. The backboard does it actually for CU. That stuffs Alex Thompson, and Austin Fault will bring it all the way up. Let's speed it up a little bit. Give it over to Levi Knudsen, who will drive and lay it in. 2 of his 6 all coming from within the 3-point line. That's odd of him. But then Corey Higgins, like godfather, like godson. Michael Jordan does it like that. And one. Spends his time in the offseason playing with Michael Jordan, if those who don't know. And then Craig Bracken's unstoppable. The alley-oop there. Well, then Corey Higgins with the miss and Crawford right there with the putback. Buffaloes tied the game late at the end of half. And then Garrett right there puts the 2 in, and they're up by 2. I think.
All right. Well, let's get into the second half. There's Chip looking to pump up the Bucks. And here's Corey Higgins looking to shoot the 3. Ain't no thing from the wing. That's a sophomore guard right there. And look who it is again coming up here. That's Coach Vizdelik looking to try to get someone in there to help out the Buffs. And like I said, coming down the side, Mr. Higgins again. Short jumper from the wing. Team high 19 points on the night. And it looks like it's going to be the Corey Higgins show tonight. Driving down the lane, quick crossover up with the right hand and in. He cannot be stopped. Neither can the Bucks on this night. Looks like a little bromance going on between Coach and Chip as the Bucks clinch their first Big 12 victory of the season. 55-49, improving the Bucks to an overall record of 9-10 and 1-12 in Big 12 play. Higgins had 19 points and 3 steals, and Craig Bracken standout for ISU at 24 points and 9 rebounds. Kevin?
Let's see what Vizdelik had to say after this game.
The fact that we didn't turn the ball over allowed us to continue to get good shots and not give them easy points. The fact that we held them even on the boards. They only had 3 offensive rebounds. And the fact that we made more free throws than they attempted.
Full team next.
Yeah, we sure do. Russell Cunningham, he's my roommate, and Matt Seawick. It's coming up right now.
Thanks, guys. This is Double Team this week. I'm Matt Seawick, sitting alongside Russell Cunningham, and we're going to talk about some basketball this week.
Yeah, certainly. The CU men's basketball team had 2 big games this week, Kansas State and Iowa State. They weren't able to pull out the K-State game, but they were in it to the end. It went to overtime. What happened in the Kansas State game that allowed them to go overtime and almost get a victory?
Well, what they really faltered at was they gave so many rebounds away to Kansas State. And they also had 12 turnovers, which, I mean, so far this season we just haven't been great with turnovers. But really into the second half, we turned into a great shooting performance, best since 1982.
I mean, there's Corey Higgins knocking down a jump shot. You see Dwight Thorne making shots. I mean, everybody made shots this game, which is huge.
Mm-hmm. And Dwight Thorne made it actually into overtime. He made the last shot, and then he kind of, tried to get into overtime, and then last 3 seconds he made the three-pointer. But unfortunately, the other team got their free throws in, and it was 75-77 with the loss.
Right. I mean, that's a tough loss. It's really hard to come on an overtime loss and not pull it out. But fortunately, in the Big 12, you play a game 3 days later, and they played Iowa State. Iowa State, they were actually able to pull out the game, make a victory. What was the key thing for them to win that game, you think?
Well, they started the 11-player rotation, where they actually utilized their bench more. And the people actually stepped up on the bench, and instead of missing those shots, they actually were able to score those. Also, they had less of a offensive rebounds.
And they also, I mean, they were shooting well, as you were saying. They were running their offense, which is Jeff Vizdelik's biggest thing. Is he has this really, really complicated offense that his team can't even learn, much less another defense. So if they run that offense effectively, you see Levi Knudsen driving and making a layup here, they're going to win games. Also, turnovers were a ginormous differential. They were averaging 20 turnovers a game. They come into this game, turnover 8 times only, 3 bad turnovers, and that's not a problem at all. That's great. That is what you like to see if you're going to win games.
That's right. They pulled ahead at the end, and that's when it mattered most. They made most of their shots at the end, and that's kind of how they got ahead and was able to win this game.
Right, exactly. As you said, bench play was huge. CU was playing strong. They were making shots. They were running their offense. They didn't turn it over. Everything leads to a CU win. So that's a great thing to say. I'm glad to see the Buffs actually are now 1-4 in the Big 12, and that's about all the time we have for the double team today, and we'll send it back to the desk.
Thank you, guys. Coming up right now, we're going to go to a quick break, but we have women's basketball against Texas Tech and Missouri, so you guys stick around. Wednesday night against Texas Tech was filled with large runs for both teams. Buffalo sprinted their way until the ending buzzer, but Texas Tech was right there with them. So we should take a look at the highlights right now as Texas Tech is in town, and there's Ralphie, National Mascot of the Year. And there's Britney Spears. She does it all. She should play for the men's team. I think so. Game high 24 points. Bucks with the early lead, and then Maria Moore, The Answer, looks a lot like The Answer's sister, Allen Iverson's sister. We're talking about practice.
Practice.
Not a game, but practice. And the men's team sure knows a lot about practice as they're off to a 1-4 Big 12 start. And then here's Alyssa Fresley, 2 of her 13 on the night. The bucket there, a nice lay-in for her. The heralded freshman is at it again on the break. One of her 4 dimes on the night, and then Brittany Spears, the bucket right there. But Texas Tech, just too much early on. Nice passing inside. It's Murphy over to Moore. Back to Murphy for the scoop reverse lay-in. And Texas Tech with the early half-time lead.
And it looks like we got Brittany Spears here, number 22, dribble drive, taking it strong to the hole, puts it up and one. That looked pretty easy for number 22 there. But with Tech up by 14 in the second half, Coach McConnell Miller looking to put a little pressure in the backcourt, trying to get back in the game. So here it is, Fresley on the ball. But here's 5'11 junior Ashley Roberson dumping it down to Kiera Mallard. And with the shot, collects the rebound again, Roberson, to clean up the mess, put it back in the foul. She is jacked up, and so are the Lady Raiders, going on to a victory here in Boulder, 66-60, dropping the Buffs to 9-9 and 5-1 in Big 12 play. And Brittany Spears led the way with 26 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 steals for the Buffs. Steals 18 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. And here we go. We're going to take you to Missouri right now. And last Saturday, the women's basketball team faced off against the Missouri Tigers at Rock Quarry Arena. Bianca Smith had a season-high 25 points and tied a school record with 7 3-pointers in the win over the Tigers. Senior Carrie Richards had 15 points, shooting 6 from 8 from the field with 9 boards. Sophomore Brittany Spears netted 11 points and had a game-high 13 rebounds for her 5th double-double of the season. The win gives them their first Big 12 and Coach Kathy McConnell winner, her 50th win as Buffs head coach. This week, I caught up with freshman point guard, Highland Ranch's own Alyssa Fresley in our CU Spotlight.
I think we have a promising future here with the recruits coming in and what Coach Miller talks about every day, and just getting better and working to create, a program, a good program.
Now in a starting role, averaging 31.6 minutes a game. Was she expecting so much playing time so early?
I never expected that. I did, think I was probably going to get some good minutes, but didn't really expect to start. But it's been a learning experience, and I'm really thankful. I feel very blessed to be able to play that much as a freshman, and it can only be a good thing for the future. Definitely to, be able to get that experience under my belt.
So what's made life so easy for this Buff so far?
I have 3 great seniors, Kara, Bianca, and Hannah. They're probably some of the best leaders I've ever been around, and it's been really awesome to get to know them and their personalities and how they get the team together and psych for every game is great.
As for differences between conference and non-conference play?
Non-conference, not as physical, a lot more fouls. Conference, way more physical, not as many fouls called.
So what does this baller have planned for life after CU?
Love to perhaps, travel overseas, play overseas a little bit.
Reporting from the Coors Event Center, this is Andrew Tomasini, CU Sports Mag.
The Sportswomen Hall of Fame will be honoring 5 Buffs in their awards banquet on March 8th. Jenny Behringer attended the Olympic Games in Beijing and set a new U.S. record in the 3,000-meter steeplechase. Nikki Marshall, a 3-time All-Big 12 and All-Region player, helped the women's U.S. soccer team win a world championship against North Korea. Lucy Sakova had 16 overall wins and 3 individual NCAA championships during her time on the slopes at CU. Jackie McFarland is the 2nd all-time leading scorer for the Colorado's basketball program. She was a first-team All-Big 12 conference player in 2008. And Maria Grevsgaard has won more skiing races than anyone in school history and has 2 titles. Again, congratulations to all of these women for their accomplishments.
The Colorado women's tennis team traveled earlier this week to Albuquerque, New Mexico to take on the Bulls of South Florida. Abby Probert and Francisca Gendrian led the way for the Buffs, winning both their singles matches, helping Colorado to win the match 5-2 over the 47th-ranked Bulls. Probert clinched her first career singles victory at Colorado, while Gendrian, who also participated in doubles for the Buffs, set a school record with her 67th career doubles victory. Colorado will now travel to Stanford to take on the number 5 Cardinal this Saturday at 3 p.m.
We might as well call them the men's basketball team Baby Buffs this year, as they may be too young to be considered full-grown Buffaloes. It is even noted that the team is home to the youngest recruit on scholarship in the Big 12 history. This brings us to this week's trivia question. Who is the youngest scholarship player in the Big 12? Think hard about this one. You may just trick yourself.
That's a pretty tough question there. I don't know what it's going to be. But when we come back from the break, we're going to talk a little bit about skiing and get to know our athletic director, Mike Bone. CU women's basketball game this past Wednesday. Colorado ski team continues to shine this season and has been honored by having 3 of its star Nordic skiers selected to compete in the Under-23 World Junior Ski Championship in Pré-de-Lys, France. Matt Gelso, Kyle Negri, and Alex Turgeon will be able to represent the United States in the competition. Gelso has started the season with 5 straight top 3 finishes, as well as a win in the 21K freestyle race at the CU Invitational. Negri has also performed well thus far, finishing in top 15 3 times this year, while Turgeon, a transfer student, has jump-started her career as a buff with a win at the University of Alaska Invitational.
They swim, they bike, they run, but we rarely ever hear about them. Sports Mag's own David Starcer caught up with the triathlon team so that they could tell their story.
Rec Center is usually a quiet place on Sunday mornings, but today the Buffalo Triathlon team is busy making waves as they prep for the upcoming season. And first-year coach Mike Ricci couldn't be more pleased by his team's work ethic.
It's been great. A lot of team camaraderie. These kids are all just great athletes and good student athletes. And, love to come out and get out of class, a lot of energy, come out and train hard, and they all enjoy each other, and it's been a lot of fun.
And for a new coach, he has his team's goals set pretty high.
The goal as a team is to win the national championship. We've won 10 out of 14 years. Never finished less than third. Puts a lot of pressure on the first-year coach, for sure. And I don't know if we're going to come in top 5 or top 2 or whatever it's going to be, but we'll be the best team in shape there for sure.
As you've seen, swimming is a key part in any triathlete's training. However, there are 2 more components that are equally as crucial, including the last leg, running. Now, with it being the middle of winter, some athletes would just call it a day with the bad weather. But with CU's tri-teamers, not even a Colorado snowstorm could keep them inside. Despite leading a fairly young squad, senior and team captain Dan Bukestad talks about the team's strengths and his own personal motivation for pushing himself to the limit.
I love being on the team, but for me, triathlon is more of a competition against yourself to see how well you can do, improving, and always taking yourself to the next level. We have a very new group this year. There's a lot of freshmen, sophomore, a lot of people who are new to the team, and their enthusiasm is just, it's amazing. It's just a lot of things working together really well, and it's just a great chemistry we got here.
Today was just a snapshot of how much hard work and training the triathlon team puts in on a nearly daily basis. And they compete year-round, which just goes to show you how fit and in shape these athletes really are. We'll be checking in on the triathlon team as the semester goes on, as they shoot for their 11th national championship in team history. For CU Sports Mag, I'm David Starcer.
10. Count them, 10 CU athletes had their first place finishes in track and field Potts Invitational on Saturday afternoon. They didn't waste any time in hitting their winning stride. Kathy Carrick won the women's shot put, and Matt Crawford placed first in the wave throw, giving the Buffs wins in the first 2 events of the day. Colorado's momentum continued throughout the rest of the afternoon. CU took the first 4 places in the men's mile, while Dan Edwards leading the way. The track and field team will compete in the Joe Davies Invitational this weekend.
This week, our athlete of the week is Dwight Thorne. The point guard led the Buffs with 31 huge points in the loss to Kansas State. So let's look at what our CU Sports Mag people had to say about that.
It was kind of a broken play. Ball ended up in my hands, and I just tried to make something happen. And fortunately, the ball went down from when I shot it. We just wanted to win the game. People were playing with a lot of emotion. We were playing hard. We were playing tough. And fortunately, we came out with the L. But it was a good stepping stone for us to get the win we had on Tuesday. It helps guys realize we can play in the Big 12 and we can win the Big 12. So hopefully it just kind of snowballs for us and we just continue to get better every day. I'm Dwight Thorne, CU Sports Mag Athlete of the Week.
Well, right now we have Mike Bone in studio. He's caught up with Amanda Blackwell.
Hi, I'm Amanda Blackwell, and I'm sitting here with Athletic Director Mike Bone. And first of all, thank you for being here today.
No, thank you. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, well, first of all, you came into this program as the Athletic Director in 2005, and a lot of the programs were struggling at the time. What made you decide to take on that challenge?
You know that's a great question. But when you're in this business of intercollegiate athletics, you really recognize that as a challenge, and they keep score in our business, and we certainly want to do everything we can to be a part of a challenge, but also to make a difference, not only to the scoreboard or on the scoreboard, but also in the community, on campus, and trying to be a leader and try and utilize athletics as a great rallying point for people to really be a part of, and that means a lot. But also, I grew up in Boulder. I'm a Boulder native. This is my hometown, but so there's added pressure associated with that. But again, wanting to make a difference and do something that people can be proud of, and being around young people, I think you always have an opportunity to meet those goals.
Yeah, and you showed that the first day you had your first opening speech over by Sewell in the rec center, and you said you wanted to focus on long-term goals, and you were able to hire a few coaches right off the bat. What did you see in those coaches, Dan Hawkins, Kathy McConnell-Miller, and now Jeff Bizdelic, that made you think they were going to be part of the future?
Well, I think there's no question that having great coaches is really the foundation of any good program, and in our coaches, we're looking for people that are passionate about dealing with young people, excited about helping young people grow and develop, competitive, people that can do a great job of motivating young people, people that are dedicated to helping a program that's greater than they are, if you will, and somebody that can just represent us with great integrity and pride and spirit, and do a great job of being involved in a team atmosphere.
But what are you saying to fans that may be a little frustrated or just curious as to when they are going to see a national or a Big 12 competitor?
Well, that's a great question. So what I tell them is, this is where we were, this is where we are, and this is where we're going. And so I think that we are constantly trying to improve, and sometimes we forget to look back in our rearview mirror and go, boy, did you see that big hill we just climbed, and different things that is happening with our program, and the new facility upgrades that we didn't have 3 years ago, and our season ticket sales that were 17,000 3 years ago that were at 23,000 now. And now with the economy and the challenges associated with that, can we continue to grow, or are we going to slide back a little bit? So, I think that the new bubble, the new locker room, the volleyball upgrades that we have, the new floor over at Coors, the new locker room for men's basketball, the new men's and women's basketball facilities over in Coors, the new locker room for soccer out at Prentice Field, the bubble I think I mentioned too. All those things are great assets to have. And then the academic upgrades to the point where this last year the football team's performance academically was the best in 12 years. So, to see those things kind of growing, they kind of all kind of go together. It's kind of like the inchworm climbing up. And pretty soon you're at the top and good things are happening. But we are certainly not where we want to be at the end, but we recognize we're heading in the right direction. And again, when you look back from 3 years ago where we are now, it's pretty clear that that's true.
And switching over to volleyball, from football to volleyball, head coach Pete Yayu recently resigned, and you said it was time to take that program in a new direction, and it was time for him to step down. What were some of the factors that led to that decision?
Well, obviously, anytime you're in a competitive environment, and PE was here a long time for us and did some great things for us, but I think we're always looking for opportunities to grow. So we want to build attendance. We want to continue to enhance the program with the idea that we're going to invest $10 million in our new volleyball basketball court facility and new volleyball operations center. So we recognize that we want to continue to grow the program, and so that's recruiting, that's in-state recruiting, that's a national presence, that's being competitive in the Big 12 Conference, which is an extremely competitive conference. So we expect to try and be able to raise all those boats, if you will. So volleyball is one of them. Women's soccer is a prominent program in the Big 12 Conference, and Bill Hempen's done a great job with that. So, but that's viewed as a regional powerhouse, and we think that we can do the same thing with volleyball. So we really believe with new leadership and the new facilities and an emphasis on volleyball that we can enhance a lot of things. We can build on our attendance, we can build on our recruiting, we can build on our national prominence, all those things that make it really special.
Well, great. It's going to be really exciting to see that play out, and thank you for coming to talk to us today.
It's a pleasure to be with you. I bet not all your interview give you those long-winded answers, but you know what? We're passionate about what we're doing. We think we've got a great team. We greatly appreciate the support of the student body. They're awesome. The faculty's great. Central administration's great. And we just feel our future is very, very bright.
Well, great. We appreciate hearing all of that. So,
you bet. Go Buffs.
Thank you. Yeah. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Mike Bone. And after the break, we have trivia answer coming up for you guys, so stick around.
Earlier we noted that the men's team is younger than usual this year in the trivia question. Before we reveal the answer, we're going to remind you what we asked. Who is the youngest scholarship player in the Big 12? And the answer is Ryan Kelly. Until recently, Trey Eklof was believed to be the youngest player on the team, but due to new mathematical calculations, it has been discovered that Ryan Kelly has secured the youngest spot. As a result, the CU men's basketball team has both the two of the youngest players on scholarship in the Big 12.
All right, up next, we're going to toss it real quickly to Kylie Horner over with the weather.
Thanks, guys. We've had quite the cold week, with temperatures reaching all the way into the 20s and lower 30s and a few snow showers here and there. But it seems as though we might be able to catch a break from this wintry weather. Let's check out what the forecast is like for this weekend. Taking a look at the national weather map, you can see a high-pressure system forming directly above Colorado. This means clear and sunny skies for the weekend. And although it seems like there's a cold front moving on in, good news, I think it's going to hold off for a little bit and not be here until around Sunday. So taking a look specifically at the temperature, you can see that there's some greens and blues forming right around our area, but that's pretty normal for the midwinter of Colorado. At least there's no purple, so we don't have to experience any below 20-degree bitter weather. So moving on to the extended forecast in Boulder, Friday and Saturday, in my opinion, just look perfect. With sunny weather and highs going all the way into the 50s, it's going to be perfect. Taking a look at the rest of the week, it seems as though the cold front will hit by Sunday, producing some snow and then warming back up on Monday. So if you choose to go skiing anytime this weekend, Sunday would definitely be the day. Speaking of heading to the slopes, let's check out what some of the ski resorts are like for the weekend. Keystone is 43 at the base and has gotten 3 inches of fresh powder with 135 trails open. Breckenridge is 57 inches at the base and has also gotten around 3 to 4 inches and 153 trails open. Taking a look at a few more of our resorts, it looks like Copper also has gotten just 3 inches with 55 inches at the base and 131 trails open. Vail, on the other hand, has gotten 10 inches of fresh powder, which is awesome. So if you love to ski and you've cleared your schedule, make sure you head up to Vail this weekend. That's all I have for now. Have a safe weekend, and I'll send it back to the desk.
Thank you, Kylie. Well, that's all the time we have for everyone for this show. I'm Kevin Rash. This is Thomas Andrusini. And have a good Super Bowl weekend. We'll see you guys next week.